Hey guys, I'm back. Thank you for joining me. I thought I'd film an orchid collection update video today. I have tons of stuff in flower, way more stuff than I've had in flower for a while actually. It's really cool. I'm excited to show it off to you guys. I might do a couple separate videos just because I don't want it to be too long, so I might do my grow shelves first, then show you some of my low light plants that hang out in the windowsills. Maybe I'll film that next part tomorrow, but right now I want to show off my grow shelves because that's where the coolest stuff is right now. So thanks for tuning in. Let's check out some orchids. Up first here is Paphiopedilum. I don't know the ID, but it's kind of that standard green one with the mottled leaves. These guys are pretty common. There's definitely more exotic paths out there than this, but I still like it. These guys are kind of slow growing, but still pretty cool. This here is my Cattleya champion red apple. This is such a cool color. It's like this neon, like electric purple. The color can kind of vary depending on the temperature and light and stuff. It's kind of marketed as like a red cat, but definitely doesn't really bloom red for me, but I'm sure it can have kind of a reddish appearance in the right conditions. So cool. I just love the flowers. I don't really like big floofy Cattleyas. I like ones like this that are just kind of like a normal, more just kind of like star-shaped, I guess. But yeah, very nice. It's only mildly fragrant, not much of a fragrance there, but the color is really why I love this orchid. And it's pretty affordable too. It's from Norman's Orchids, and this one's always really affordable. It's like on sale most of the time for like 20 bucks or something. So if you're interested in getting one, you should. It's pretty compact too. I'd say maybe 8 inches or something altogether, which is pretty compact. Very nice Cattleya. I like this thing a lot. Back here I've got a nice tall, I guess it's kind of like a Dendrobium type. No ID, I got it from a big box store, but it's got that Dendrobium shape. And the flowers are a really nice color. They're purple, but instead of like a reddish or pinkish purple, it's a very cool toned kind of bluish, like indigo color, which is really cool. So I do like it a lot. I've got one nice spike coming in on that slightly taller growth. This one in the front does not have a spike that I can see yet, which I'm a little surprised by because it's also a good size and looks healthy, so I'm surprised I didn't get a spike on that one, but we'll see. I'll definitely show you guys this one when it flowers. I might have to pull it out from underneath this shelf because that spike's getting awful close to my light fixture, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. This here is my Angraecum in bud. I'm really excited. This thing is beautiful. I really love this Angraecum. The fragrance is really nice on the flowers, and it just bloomed for me not that long ago, so it's nice to get a second flower. The bud's kind of low in the pot, which is kind of a bummer. It might not be the best bloom display for me, but that's okay. I was kind of trying to push the bud out of the pot, but we'll see. I'll show you guys this one when it blooms. It's a really gorgeous Angraecum. I'd say it's one of the easier Angraecums, but that being said, people do sometimes still have trouble with these, so if you decide to get one, maybe look into it a little bit first. I'll probably speak a bit more about the culture when it flowers. I'll feature it in a video and discuss it a bit more, but I'm very excited. You'll see this soon. This here is my little hazel red jewel. This is like a true red mini cat. Perfect. I love everything about it. I got quite a few buds coming in. It's hard to see. It's just kind of a bad angle for this, but it always blooms really nicely for me. I think last year I had like 7 flowers on each spike, so I had like 14 flowers altogether. I think there's close to that on this year's blooming. I think there might only be 6 on each spike, but that's still a lot of flowers for such a small plant. The flowers are really gorgeous. The form on this one doesn't look that great. It hasn't quite opened up all the way, but this thing is gorgeous. I will show it off once it blooms fully. Very easy growing, easy blooming. I love this thing. It's not fragrant, which is kind of a bummer. That's the only downside, but everything else about this Cattleya is flawless. And this here is my Bulbophyllum Tingabarium, which is doing well for me. It's been blooming off and on all summer. It seems to bloom pretty freely. It just dropped a couple flowers recently, but it's got a few new spikes coming right in after, so that's nice. The flowers are really cool on this one. It looks a bit like a medusae or something with those kind of feathery, spidery looking flowers, which is neat. One thing that's interesting about this though, Bulbophyllum tingabarium, if you look it up, has sort of like this reddish color. Mine blooms this kind of like pale yellowy orange, so I think it's a different color form, which is interesting. It wasn't really labeled as such, but yeah, it blooms a different color than the standard tingabarium. Here is my Cycnoches, which flowers beautifully for me every summer. I really love this thing. It has the coolest looking flowers. I'm just obsessed with it. This is a cross between Angraecum Berger and the Warwitzii, or Varscovici, I don't know how to pronounce that, but those are the two parents. It definitely takes after the latter, the Varscovici. It's got pretty much the same kind of shape and color. The other parent, the Angraecum Berger, has some kind of spotting to it, which I was sort of hoping I'd get that in the progeny here, but alas, it kind of takes after its other parent, but the flowers are still really incredible. I'm obsessed with it. The fragrance is really nice. Some Catasetum types can have really bizarre fragrances, and this one definitely has a bit of that kind of mentholy, chemically smell that Catasetums can have, but I find it to be a lot more kind of bearable. I think out of all the Catasetums I've smelled, this one has kind of more of a traditional floral kind of smell to it, but I really love it. It's super easy growing. If you're new to Catasetums, Cycnoches or Cycnotes are super easy to start out with. I would recommend this to anyone. I'm planning on doing a little video about Catasetum culture too, since the changing of the seasons throws people off, so I'll talk a bit about the watering and stuff. But I love this thing. The only thing that kind of bugs me about it is that it grows like almost completely horizontally. It's like parallel to the floor. Pretty much all Catasetum lean, but this one, no matter what I do, I've tried staking it, I try kind of rotating it. Usually I can kind of mitigate Catasetums falling over, but not this one. But this is gorgeous. I'll probably do another spotlight video about it. I want to get some better footage of it in like daylight and stuff, and I'll pull it out of the shelf so you can kind of see it better. But this thing's gorgeous. I just had to give you guys a sneak peek of it. Okay, another Catasetum getting ready to bloom. I've got two spikes on this one. There's one here, and then there's another one back there. This one is Phragmipedium Midnight Lace cross Catasetum Frillidoris from SVO. I flowered this last year, but for some reason the flowers on this one did not open up all the way. They were still kind of closed off looking, and they were kind of hanging straight down, so they didn't open all the way and they didn't sort of lift up. Phragmipediums typically have like a more kind of open-faced flower, I think, and the Frillidoris definitely does. So I don't know why this one has this tendency, but I'm hoping maybe this year it'll bloom a little bit better. The buds do look way healthier this year. They're still kind of pointing down a lot, but we'll see. The flowers are very cool looking anyway, so very curious to see how this one flowers, but I'm still excited for it. Okay, up next here is my Phragmipedium treasure. Really nice. I love the flowers on this thing. It just finished blooming for me a couple weeks ago. It's got another bud coming on here. They usually put out a couple flowers on each spike, which is nice, so you get a second display. I'm very excited. I get really great color on this. I think it's because I have such strong lights. These T5s, I think, do a really good job at kind of bringing out the color in blooms. So typically this is more of like a pale kind of pink, but for me it ends up being this kind of deep like mauve-y purple, which is pretty cool. It'll lighten up a little bit, but you can see that color. It's almost like an eggplant kind of plum color right now. Very exciting. I will definitely show that off to you when it flowers, but I just showed it in a couple videos ago, I think, so you can go back and look that up if you would like. Up next here is one of my Masdevallia Veitchiana. I have a couple different kind of varieties. I'm excited to see what the flower is going to look like on this one. The bud was looking kind of weird to me. I kind of almost thought it would blast because it had such a weird kind of like yellowish color to it. Masdevallia vechiana tends to have more of like an orange color, which the buds kind of look red. The fact that this one's so bright colored is kind of weird to me, but I don't think it's blasting. It looks like it's starting to open, so we'll see. All right, guys, real quick before we wrap up, one of my lovely viewers named Nina has been asking to see my python, so here he is. He is going through a shed right now, so normally I'd pull him out for you guys, but when snakes shed, it tends to be kind of uncomfortable for them, and they sort of like to be left alone during that time. But he'll be done shedding soon, and I will definitely do another video where I show him kind of more up close and personal. He is a beautiful animal, very kind and gentle. I love holding him. He's very easy to handle, easy to work with. Ball pythons are really great snakes. You can see kind of he has like a grayish tinge to his coloration right now. That's because he has that extra layer of skin that's getting ready to come off. Usually when they finish shedding, their colors look extra bright and vibrant because they have this kind of fresh skin underneath that shed. I will definitely show him to you once he is done shedding, but I thought I'd give you a sneak peek anyway. Right now he's hanging out underneath his little cork tube here. There's a sneak peek of his cage too, which looks a little gross right now. I'm definitely planning on remodeling his cage too, so that might be topic for a future video, so stay tuned for that, but I hope that satisfies you for now, Nina. Alright guys, I think that's it from me today. I have lots of other stuff in flower. That was only like a fraction of the blooms I have right now, but I did want to try to keep this video short and just do a follow-up video in another day or two and show you the rest of my blooms. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everyone's being safe with the weather and stuff. Kind of crazy. I just brought a few of my plants in because it's supposed to get kind of windy in my area. Nothing anywhere near as bad as other people have seen, but be safe, take care of yourselves, take care of your orchids, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.